people sure know how to have a good time with their trucks. Hi, I'm Ed Bruce. Traveling around the country, I've learned that if you take two people in two trucks, they'll find a way to compete. Sometimes seriously and sometimes just for fun, but always exciting. We'll get to see it all in the next 60 minutes on this special video edition of Truckin USA. We'll start our tour in the Trollhagen Campground near Dresser, Wisconsin, where the Minnesota Gopher Four-Wheelers Club held their annual off-roading get-together. It's a lot of fun for everyone. But the real attraction this weekend is the Tough Truck Competition. It's a series of 8 grueling obstacle course-style events designed to test both man and machine. Everything from the demanding rock and log hill climbs to car crushers where raw power and traction are critical. There's also the completely unpredictable mud run pit and unique driving skill events like the balance beam and stump climb, which require precision driving and finesse techniques. All in all, it's quite a show, and that's what everyone has come to see today. Well, it's been raining here for a couple of days, so I'm going to keep this handy. The Tough Truck Competition has been around for 23 years, and it gets bigger every year. People come from far and near to compete, and everybody has a good time. Competition's just about to start, so let's head over to the Log Hill. The Log Hill is one of the most grueling events in the Tough Truck Contest. The object is to make it all the way to the top in as little time as possible. And while many of the competitors do make it to the top, there's one more thing the judges are looking for: style. Once they start a run up the hill, style becomes the last thing on the driver's mind. They only want to make it to the top in one piece. And that wasn't the case for Neil Riley and his Ford Bronco.
I guess I just broke an outer axle shaft, lowered the gears, and get a lot of power through them. The wheels hooked up, and something's got to give. It wasn't the log.
Waiting their turn at the bottom of the log hill, participants watch the other competitors to try and formulate a strategy for making it to the top. Under normal conditions, it's tough enough. But according to Bob Kennedy of North St. Paul, 3 days of rain have made this hill all the more difficult to conquer.
The rain, I didn't think it was going to stop all day. The course is way muddy with the sand here. It causes a problem. Everything gets loose. There's holes that you can go into to your knees. The rocks are a lot slipperier when they're wet. The logs are more slippery when they're wet. Makes a real problem getting traction. That's where the tires come in real handy.
This log hill is tough on trucks. The drivers have to be careful and pace their vehicles because it's only the first of the 8 rigorous tests in store for them today. As you might expect, one of them is the mud run. The mud run is actually the last of 4 consecutive timed events that starts with the rock pile. Making it across the rock pile is no easy task, and with all the recent rainfall, the rocks are especially slippery and dangerous. The competitor's next challenge is the log pile. It doesn't offer the same dangers as the sharp, rugged razor rocks, but it's treacherous. The third event in the series is the tire and car crush pile. The strategy here is to take a running start, get your front tires as high and far as possible, then hope you have enough traction to get across. Finally, it's on to the mud run. Unlike the other obstacles, you don't drive over it, you drive through it. Here's a truly unique event called the balance beam. The idea is to drive the truck up on these beams resting on a fulcrum and balance the truck. Now, it's not as demanding on the truck, but it's a pretty interesting test for the driver. Sure looks like fun. Here's an event that I haven't seen before. It's called the stump climb. The object here is to drive up, park, and stop with one wheel on top of the stump. Sounds simple, right? Like the other challenges in the tough truck competition, the stunt climb is a timed event. So, if at first you don't succeed, try again until you make it or you break it.
I really am bummed out about the front end, but it's repairable and I'll be back.
Tough truck competition sure lives up to the name. These trucks have taken a real beating today, and this next event is going to get even tougher. This is the rock hill, and it's just like the log hill, with one exception. Wood gives a little, rocks don't. All in all, this weekend's activities provided some good competition for friendly folks and their tough trucks. These aren't the only tough trucks we've seen across the USA. Some big ones were competing at the diesel drags in Englishtown, New Jersey. Any kind of diesel truck can compete. You'll see everything from tractor-trailer bobtails to construction site dump trucks lined up on the starting line. There are 28 classes to enter, with each category broken down by horsepower, weight, and number of axles. The races are conducted in a bracket format, which means all runs are timed and the lights on the Christmas tree give a handicap start for exciting racing. Just as in an NHRA-sanctioned drag race, every one of these trucks must go through a thorough tech and safety inspection before ever hitting the track. Michael Biggs of Valegate, New York, has won the Class B title twice. He owns a specially modified drag truck as well as 4 other diesels competing here today. Michael and his driver, John Emirati, have made changes to this Marmon to make it a real racing machine.
It's a 1987 Marmon, has an 8V92 Detroit in it with an Allison automatic transmission, has a Detroit locker rear in it, has special racing tires on it or caps, has a cool can on it, has line lock on it to lock the front wheels to do good burnouts with it. We really just use this for racing in Englishtown, and we run a circuit with it basically right now.
Now, a modified racer like Michael's is what you'd expect to see at a diesel drag race, but there are a lot of other kinds of trucks out here, too. These everyday working trucks look more at home on city streets than on a racetrack. The Diesel Nationals is a chance for these service vehicles and their drivers to clean, chrome, and dress up for competition. Come Monday morning, however, it'll be back to work as usual. Another competition for diesel drags was for the best pit crew. The winners of last year's Best Pit Crew Award are back to defend their crowns. Tony and Terry Vecchio could be accused of making this competition a family affair. Their 60-member pit crew consists mainly of family members. Together, they log a lot of hours to get this 1983 Peterbilt ready for competition.
Pit crew is something else. You know, the family is real great. I don't know for sure if we got the largest, but I personally think we're the largest pit crew going. And, you know, it's pretty funny. Everybody walking around the show is saying, all those people for one truck, they can't be. There's got to be more than one truck going around here somewhere.
For a truck with almost 1 million miles on it, this one looks pretty good. The Vecchios are also famous in the pits for their all-day barbecue. What began as a small pit-side gathering has grown into a full-fledged feed-a-thon for over 200 people.
We all like to cook. You could tell there's a few of us that like to eat, so you have to eat good food, and we make sure we have good food.
As long as you're cooking for 200 people, what's one more?
Here, Ed, a second. Manja.
Oh, thanks, Terry. Boy. Well, they say the best place to eat is where you see the big rigs, and they're right. It was fun watching those big trucks run down the quarter mile. And speaking of fun runs, I can't remember having more fun than the time I attended one of the wackiest truck events. The Maine Mud Run in Maine, where the mud was really flying. There are 7 classes of trucks racing here today on this 300-foot run, with 60 to 70 trucks in competition. Both men and women compete in all classes, and believe me, it gets pretty rough out in that mud. Each contestant has 2 minutes to stay within the boundaries and get to the finish line. The one who gets the farthest, the fastest, wins. If a truck stops, the driver has 5 seconds to get going again before it's disqualified. If anybody gets really stuck, there's a machine called a timber skidder, a device used in the lumber industry to pull logs. But today it'll be coming to the contestants' rescue. There will be 3 finalists in each class. These folks have to qualify during the year and must have won at least one race in the state of Maine. To get through the mire, it takes an unusual kind of racer and an unusual vehicle, like this one, the mud puppy.
Well, I bought it off a friend of mine. He had bought it brand new and blew the motor and front end, and I got a chance to pick it up for a little or nothing, so I bought it, and I had rear ends for it, and I had a motor for it. And we just threw things together and went racing last year.
Built it right in the cellar?
Yeah, we did it all ourselves. We did it right in the cellar, and I had the tires. The tires go on my street vehicle, and
A little here, a little there, it all
stuck them on. You know, we didn't
it
have
all
to
came
pay
together, it all
extra.
worked.
We like going for the fun. This running like this doesn't put food on the table for me. The people around here are very friendly. It's fun. You know, we get there the night before, have a few beers with the boys, and it's not serious stuff, you know.
One of the biggest crowd pleasers is the unlimited class. Any size engine, any size tires create these skimmers, and they can navigate this run in 5 seconds. One of the premier vehicles in the unlimited class is the Knight Flight. It was custom built by its owner, Robin Knight.
The body is all steel. It's a regular 72 Blazer body. It's just, you know, had the doors welded in. The engine, we have got a 540 cubic inch Rodak. That's an all aluminum engine. And we run in 2 ollies, and it runs on alcohol. And basically, it's got stock rear and front end in it because we usually skim the top of the mud, so we don't have to worry about braking. And, well, she's running real well right now.
Sounds like Robin's just being modest. Well, maybe not. And speaking of running, trucks weren't the only ones running in the mud. Women of all ages, shapes, and sizes find common ground, or should I say mire, as they attempt to dash 100 yards in mud up to their knees. There goes the winner. Meanwhile, oops. Winner Monica Hoyt from Anson, Maine definitely had a plan.
To run down the edge so not to fall in the big mud holes and get all muddy.
Not all the action took place in the Maine mud. Some of it took place in the Maine sand. These vehicles are competing on 100 yards of sandy dirt. And even though we're out in the middle of a farm, these races come complete with a Christmas tree and finish line timing light. While the sand and mud drags continued, I almost got involved in a crazy competition myself. If you're from Maine, you automatically qualify as a maniac. Guy Honeywell created this event in 1981. He also created this bike, and he calls it a crazy bike. Guy, why do you call it crazy bike?
It doesn't go where you want it to go. It's crazy.
What do you mean?
Well, if you turn left, it goes right. If you turn right, it goes left.
Well, what's the incentive to ride it then?
Well, let's put a few dollars. Let's suppose you give me 100, and I'll give you 1,000 if you can go the full distance, 15 feet in a straight line.
You'll give me 10 to 1 to ride the bike.
That's right.
It looks pretty simple. Anybody else tried it?
Sure they have. Lots of them.